Sebastian, you're saying that they are within? But the ratio of Wiper and other members is 50-50 in that committee, in the Committee of Lands. Member for Kitisa, your party is under shame. Please redeem. Where? Please redeem the image. It is embarrassing.
But Mr. Speaker, hiding around is the same.
Even in Lands Committee, Wiper is same number as the rest. If you take Muungano, Independence, and whatever it lands, they will balance. So, Honorable Mudike, who will lay the papers? Perhaps Honorable Sharon has been delegated. Lastly, when I checked, they were together with the leader of the majority. So, Honorable Sharon, if you have been delegated, you take up the seat, you proceed. Take up the seat of the leader of the majority. You come from the same ward. Cover up to the money. Take the seat. If protocol is to go by, you are the senior most ranking member. Do we have quorum? Several times you hold the bell. Clerk, read the orders.
Orders of the day today, Wednesday, February 28th of February, 2024 at 2:30 p.m. Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Chairperson, Committee on Oath Officers. We must conclude this petition next week.
Mr. Speaker, we had a meeting, committees, you have heard it. This is a question of the clerk finalizing on the final proofreading and all that.
That's what I'm saying. Let us endeavor to conclude next week.
Yes, we can do that. Thank you.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Leader of the majority party. Honorable Sharon. Honorable Sharon Mutinda. Leader of the majority party. It's your party, disown it. Governor from your village, government from your village, majority from your village.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I have no direction from the leader of majority, so unless you advise me.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
There are papers. There's a paper to be laid by the leader of the majority, the government side, but there is business for the coming week. Minority Whip. Take the next microphone.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the Assembly today, Wednesday, 28th February 2024 at 2:30 p.m. Business of the County Assembly for the coming week. The report of the Auditor General on the county government of Makueni revenue statements, receiver of revenue for the year ended 30th June 2023. The report of the Auditor General on the county government of Makueni revenue fund for the year ended 30th June 2023. The report of the Auditor General on the county executive of Makueni for the year ended 30th June 2023. The report of the Auditor General on the Makueni County Youth, men, women, persons with disabilities, and the table banking groups empowerment fund for the year ended 30th June 2023. The report of the Auditor General on the County Assembly of Makueni for the year ended 30th June 2023. I lay.
Members, the Auditor General report, receiver of revenue, Committee Committee on Public Accounts and Investment Committee, the Auditor General report on revenue fund revenue fund of the county government, the report of Auditor General, County Executive Makueni, the report of the Auditor General on the Makueni County Youth, Women, Persons with Disabilities, Table Banking Groups, the report of the Auditor General, Makueni County Assembly, stands committed to Committee of Public Investment and Accounts to consider and lay a report before this House within 90 days. Chairperson, take note. Next, Chairperson, Budget and Appropriation Committee, followed by Chairperson, Committee on Implementation, Chairperson, Devolution, Chairperson, Budget Assembly Business Committee, Chairperson, Public Investments, Chairperson, Environment and Climate Change, and Chairperson, Budget and Appropriation. In that order. Respective chairs, organize yourselves. Chair Budget.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the Assembly today, Wednesday, 28 February 2024 to that. The half-yearly progress report of the Budget Appropriation Committee for the period between July and December 2023. And the report also of the Budget and Appropriation Committee on the closure of original budget 2023-24 exchequer release status at 30th November 2023. This one, I'm seeking for more time, Mr. Speaker. That one I cannot lay. I'm seeking for more time. So I'm laying only the half-yearly progress report, Mr. Speaker.
I don't know what is the progress report. Can you tell us what it is?
I'm trying to tell you that, Mr. Speaker, I'm laying a paper for half-yearly report. But for the other, I'm supposed to pay it late too. The other one is not ready.
Which is
the report on the Budget and Appropriation
Closure of the original
closure of
budget.
original budget. Yeah.
when will it be ready?
Give us a week, Mr. Speaker.
So a week is ending Friday, so next week on Monday.
Next week, yeah.
On Tuesday.
Wednesday.
When do you meet as a committee?
We meet normally on Actually, we meet on Tuesdays, and yesterday I don't remember us meeting. I was away on the issue of my rural. That's why this paper has just been brought here, Mr. Speaker. I'm just covering the face of budget. See, I'm trying to take this face of budget because this paper we were arguing, and there's nobody. I'm sure even there's no member of budget to second any motion here, Mr. Speaker. That's the picture now. Because
Okay.
the chairman is not in, the deputy and all that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, thank you.
Chairperson, implementation.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Assembly today, Wednesday, 28th February 2024, at 2:30 p.m. The half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Implementation for the period between July and December 2023. I lay.
Chairperson of the resolution.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Assembly today, Wednesday, 28 February 2024 at 2:30 p.m. The half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Devolution, Public Representation Count and Administration and Special Programs for the period between July and December 2023.
Chairperson, public investment.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Assembly. Today, Wednesday, 28th February 2024 at 2:30 p.m. The report of the Public Investment and Accounts Committee on consideration of the report of the Auditor General on Makindu Kibwezi Water and Sanitation Limited for the period ended, for the years ended 30th June 2018, 30th June 2019, 30th June 2020, 30th June 2021, and 30th June 2022.
Good job.
Yes.
Oh, I wish all chairperson would emulate that chair, not all committees. I did not applaud the committee, I've applauded the chair. The committee is as good as chair. If it has to do with the park, you have no moral authority. Your chair has spoken. And once your chair speaks, it's final. Okay.
Yeah, at least today, the speaker, the members elect the chair. So the chair is the mirror of the members. So when the chair is successful, it means the members are also successful. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
I agree with you. By voting in the chair, you donated your sovereignty. You have none. You handed over. So the chair is you. So let him take the accolades. The committee is always as good as the chair. So you are as good as your chair. That's what I'm saying. Nevertheless, well done, Committee Public Investment Accounts. I think that's a good progress. The Committee on Finance should emulate that. Chairperson, Committee on Environment and Climate Change. Environment and Climate Change.
What is this, Honorable Speaker? Is it a paper to be laid? And what is it about?
A report on the road and Magonia County Sand Conservation Regulation Authority.
All right. Honorable Speaker, that report is not ready, so we are not able to lay the paper today. We would wish that you give us some more time.
The report is due.
Yes, it's due, but not ready.
Why?
Technicalities are
Has
there.
it been adopted?
Not yet.
So why then have you not adopted?
Well, we haven't been able to do the processes preceding the adoption. So we will expedite.
Quorum issues?
Of course, there was the exercise of interrogating the mentioned persons, and the committee has not been able to undertake
What's the
that.
challenge? Is it quorum? What is it? Is it workload?
Well, more or less the same in relation to quorum. More or less.
You have refused to meet.
No, we have endeavored, but the usual challenges have hindered us from going that far.
So when do we expect the report?
If you can give us 14 days?
No. When ordinarily do you meet?
On Tuesdays.
Tuesdays.
Yeah.
What time?
At 11. I'm saying this because we have to give some notice to the persons who are supposed to appear before the committee. We cannot tell them to appear before us tomorrow or the day after. We have to give them at least 7 days. And then we sit down, consume the report.
You invite them on Monday?
Sorry?
Monday?
Well, we sent the chair to look into some.
You are the chair.
The substantive chair. chair. I'm the chair of the day, and
Please
and,
just take
and a
up.
standing chair does not have
Honorable
absolute power.
Kimongo, don't water down the broth. It was a little bit thick.
All right.
You
Okay.
have succeeded and now you are failing.
Okay. Now, assuming that because in the meeting we had said we see whether they can avail themselves on Monday. If that is so, then we can do it in like 10 days. We can say the other Monday, we can present the other Monday. That will be like around 10 days from now. From 14 to 10 days.
So you need to meet them on Monday.
Yes.
So we agree that this remains in the order paper. You will confirm whether indeed that meeting has happened on Monday at 2:30.
Will there be a need of having the business in the order paper when we know that it is not practical, just for the purpose of confirming whether we met, and I'm sure we will?
It's called a mention. At 2:30, you will have met in the morning.
So we just report that indeed we met.
Yes.
And
so
we will
that-
meet. We don't need to go that route of.
This is a matter that takes a form of a petition.
Yes.
And therefore, it is not within your latitude to decide how to deal with it. We will tell you how to deal with it. You have agreed to meet on Monday. Let us know whether you have met, so that then we will know. We can adjourn on Tuesday the whole day for you to do the report.
That would be good.
But can you first let us sort the Monday? See.
Okay, as you say, let's first see whether on Monday
It's
we
not
report.
saying you will sit on Monday and update. Correct?
All right.
Fair enough.
Okay.
If you don't see, the matter will take a different direction. I will tell you.
I already know.
Chairperson, Budget and Appropriation, he is indicated to give that later. Next order. Was it not late? No? How? Yeah? We have notices. Chairperson, Assembly Business Committee. What is it, Honorable Elizabeth?
Speaker, I had requested this earlier on the matter environment, but because you gave a direction, I don't want to speak on the matter.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to speak after the chair. You know, I come from Kilome and this matter for sand is very emotive.
No, that has nothing to do. Are you overruling the directions of the chair?
No.
Then if it's just the input over and above that, then it's okay. What is it that you want to say?
I wanted to say that the committee should sit and finalize with this matter because I have followed the matter myself personally. And that last time I came, when they had the hearings, I found very few members in that committee and they could not interrogate the people who had come. So they were forced to tell them to go back home and they are going to call them back. So it's not fair to us. Some of us have a lot of interest in the matter. We would want to sit in and hear what the deliberations of the committee. So let them just make the matter to a conclusion in the simplest ways without allowing us to get involved in a bitter, tough tone because it's going to take a different direction. The matter is bringing a lot of emotions as it is now at the ground. So they need to deal with the matter before it erupts. And the member for Kaskeo will tell you, it's really bad. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Is that the case, member for Kaskeo?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So I can attest to that.
Owing to the confirmation by member for Kaskeo, as simple as that, chairperson take note of the sentiments by the members. You know, one of them has warned you that it may take a different directions. From Kaskeo perspective, on my side is a different one. So please take note. Chairperson, House Business Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Assembly today, Wednesday, 28th February 2024 at 2:30 p.m. The half-yearly progress report of the Assembly Business Committee for the period between July and December 2023. Ele.
There's a paper on chairperson, Committee on Gender. We'll revert that paper. Is it ready? Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Chairperson, Budget and Appropriation Committee.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give a notice of the following motion that the Assembly adopts the half-yearly progress report upon the Budget and Appropriation Committee for the period between July and December 2023 laid on the table of the Assembly on 28th February 2024. Thank you.
Chairperson, Committee on Implementation.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give notice of the following motion that this Assembly adopts the half-yearly progress report on the Committee of Implementation for the period between July and December 2023, laid on the table of the Assembly on 28th February 2024. Thank you.
Chairperson, Committee on Resolution.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give notice of the following motion that this Assembly adopt the half-year progress report of the Committee on Devolution, Public Participation Account and Administration Special Programs for the period between July and December 2023, laid on the table of the Assembly on 28th February 2024.
Chairperson, Assembly Business Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give a notice of the following motion that this assembly adopts the half-yearly progress report of the Assembly Business Committee for the period between July and December 2023, laid on the table of the Assembly on 28th February 2024. Thank you.
Chairperson, Public Investment Accounts Committee.
I beg to give notice of the following motion that this Assembly adopts a report of the Public Investment and Accounts Committee on consideration of the report of the Auditor General on Kibwezi Makindu Water and Sanitation Company for the years ended 30th June 2018, 30th June 2019, 30th June 2020, 30th June 2021, and 30th June 2022, laid on the table of the Assembly on 28th February 2024.
Chairperson, next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Chairperson, the Leader of the Majority Party.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, pursuant to the provisions of the Standing Orders 47 Part 2A and 55 of the Counter Assembly Standing Orders, I arise to give a statement of the business of the Counter Assembly for the next sitting week. Mr. Speaker, sir, the following business has been tentatively scheduled to be transacted by the Counter Assembly in the next sitting week. Monday, 4th March 2024, statement. A response to the statement regarding the issuance of financial year 2023-2024 bursary in Kikumbuli North Ward, as was requested by the member from Kikumbuli North Ward. Then we have motions. Number 1, motion for the adoption of the report of the Committee on Finance and the Socio-Economic Planning on the Makueni County Assembly Quarterly Report and Financial Statements for the period ended 30th September 2023. Number 2, motion of the adoption of the half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Broadcasting and Communication for the period between July and December 2023. Number 3, motion for the adoption of the half-yearly progress report of the Special Interest Committee for the period between July and December 2023. Then Tuesday, 5th March 2024, morning plenary statements. Response to the statement regarding the lack of an agroecology policy as was requested by Honorable Janet Kitunga. Statement number 2, response to the statement regarding the inappropriate disposal of wastewater within the Emali Sultan Hamoud municipality and the other parts of the county, as was requested by the member for Emali Molala Ward. Then we have motions. Number 1, motion for the adoption of the all-year progress report of the Committee on Selection for the period between July and December 2023. Motion number 2, motion for the adoption of the half-yearly progress report of the Public Investments and Accounts Committee for the period between July and December 2023. Then afternoon plenary, papers and notices. Number 1, tabling of the report of the Committee on Lands, Urban Planning and Development on the vetting of the nominees for the appointment as members of Water Municipal Board. Notice of motion shall be given as well. Then number 2, tabling of the report of the Committee on Environment and Climate Change on the vetting of the 4 nominees for the appointment as Makueni County Climate Change Steering Committee members, then notice of the motion shall be given as well. Then we have motions on that afternoon. Motion number 1, motion for the adoption of the half-yearly progress report of the Committee on ICT, Education, and Internship for the period between July and December 2023. Then we have motion for the adoption of the half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Lands, Urban Planning, and Development for the period between July and December 2023. Then on Wednesday, 6th March 2024, we have petitions. Number 1, response to the public petition by the residents of the Kalamba community regarding the ownership and the operations of the Kalamba Community Dispensary. Then papers and notices. Number 1, we have tabling of the report of the Committee on ICT, Education, Township, on oversight on ECD centers. Notice of the motion shall be given as well. Number 2, we have a tabling of the report of the Committee on ICT, Education, and Township on oversight on the county CTTIs. Notice of motion shall be given as well. Then we have tabling of the half-yearly progress report on the County Assembly Procedures and Rules Committee for the period between July to December 2023. Then notice of the motion shall be given as well. Then we have statements. Statement number 1, response to the statement regarding the implementation of Kanini Kasio irrigation project in Kalawa Ward, as well as was requested by the member for Okia Ward. Then number 2, response to the statement regarding the need to establish an access road connecting Makueni County and Kajiado County through Kambo Market, as was requested by the member for Evigon Zambani Ward. Then we have motions. Number 1, motion for the adoption of the report of the Committee on Lands, Urban Planning, and Development on the vetting of nominees for appointment as members of Water Municipal Board. Then we have motion number 2, motion for the adoption of the report of the Committee on Environment and Climate Change on the vetting of the 4 nominees for appointment as Makueni County Climate Change Steering Committee members. Then motion number 3, motion for the adoption of the half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Environment and Climate Change for the period between July and December 2023. The last one, we have motion for the adoption of half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Health Services for the period between July and December 2023. Mr. Speaker, sir, there should be a meeting of the Assembly Business Committee on Monday, 4th March 2024 at 9 a.m. And pursuant to the decisions of that meeting, additional business may be scheduled to be transacted by the County Assembly during that week. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member for Water and Sewer, request for a statement from the Chairperson Committee on Trade. Chairperson Committee on Water and Sanitation to respond to statement as requested by Honorable Felix Mateso on Kamunjilo. Chairperson. You have the response?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Do you have the response?
The response is here, but the committee has not met for the adoption.
Do so and provide the response on Monday at 2:30.
Thank you.
Chairperson Committee on Water and Sanitation to respond to statement regarding operations of Kaduma Water Project due at the same time on Monday. Chairperson Committee on Devolution Public Participation County Administration to respond to statement statement from the chairperson Chairperson Committee on Devolution and Public Participation to respond to a statement as quoted by member for Tulimani on the establishment of village councils.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the response is not ready. So we request we respond on next
No,
week.
you don't have to speak on low tone. If you have nothing, just say there is nothing.
Yeah, there is nothing, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, you don't have to look like you are so nice, humble. You know, I know when you have a report, you stand straight and you speak in high volume. When you start whispering,
And that's me.
I know you have problems. You have a report or none?
Not ready.
Do you have a report or none?
None.
Thank you. So when?
Next week, Wednesday.
Wednesday is too far.
The committee usually meets on Wednesday at 9:30.
Do so.
At 9, not 9:30. Thank you.
Chairperson of the Committee on Finance and Social Planning to give a general statement of the Committee on Finance on exchequer release status as at 31st of December, year 2023.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I rise pursuant to provision of Standing Order number 46 to give a general statement on the financial year 2023-2024 exchequer release status as of 31st December 2023. Mr. Speaker, sir, Article 228 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 provides that there shall be a controller of budgets who shall be nominated by the President and with approval of the National Assembly, appointed by the President and approval of the National Assembly. No, the control budget shall oversee the implementation of the budgets of the national and county governments by authorizing withdrawal from the public funds. Mr. Speaker, sir, the approved financial year 2023-2024 supplemental budget for the county government of Makueni amounted to 11,170,315 and 259 shillings, comprising of 554,481,902 shillings, that is development expenditure, and 7,615,833,357 shillings as recurrent expenditure. As of 31st December 2023, the county government had received 295,630,025 shillings as the development budget, all received by the county executive. This total receipt represents 8.3% disbursement of the total development budget. The remaining balance of the development budget yet to be disbursed amounts to 3.258 billion. On the other hand, as of 31st December 2023, the county government had received 3,162,016,316 of the recurrent budget, with the county assembly receiving 489,035,662 shillings as of 882.052 million. And the county executive received 2.672 billion out of the 6.733 billion. This total receipt represents 41.5 disbursement of the recurrent budget, with that of the county assembly being 55.4, that is disbursement, while that of the county executive being at 41.3 disbursement. The remaining balance of the recurrent budget is yet to be disbursed amounts to 4.453 billion. Mr. Speaker, sir, the total exchequer released to the county government of Makueni as at 31st December 2023 amounts to 3.45 billion, representing 31% of the total budget allocation. The remaining amount to be disbursed amount is 7 billion 712 million 662 shillings 662,918. Mr. Speaker, going by the department, the Mali municipality had received the highest percentage of its development budget at 62.3%, followed by Makueni Fruit Development Authority at 87.5%. The Sant Authority received 75% of the development budget, whereas the Department of Health Services had received 10.6% of the development budget. All the other remaining departments, including the county assembly, had received below 10% disbursement of the development budgets. On the recurrent budget, the office of the county secretary had received the highest percentage of its recurrent budget at 66.4%, followed by the governor's office at 58.8%, and the county assembly at 55.4%. On the other hand, the Makueni Fruit Development Authority had not received any allocation of its recurrent budget, while the Mali municipality had received 13.9% of its recurrent budget allocation. County Attorney's Office had received 21.2% and of its recurrent budget allocation. Mr. Speaker, all the remaining departments received at least 30% of their recurrent budget allocation. A summary of the above information is in the table attached below. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish also to state that we have a table for the department, the allocation, received amounts, the balance, and the percentage as per 31st December 2023. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You do have a second? A general statement.
Yes, it's a general statement.
So there is no recommendations? There are no recommendations?
No.
I think these should take the form of recommendations. Yeah. Consider this. This is by the control of budget. Budget.
Yes.
So if there is the report of the control of the budget and it reads that absorption recurrent expenditure for the county executive as at December is 40%, and for recurrent expenditure at the assembly is 55%. Now, development on a county executive is 8% absorption as at December. So it is 8% of 3.5 billion, which is 295 million out of 3.5 billion. So we have 3.1 or 2 billion, 3.2 billion, thereabout, yet to be spent between 1st and maybe mid-May. So our total absorption is at 8% on development, and our total recurrent absorption is at 41 as at December. So why I'm saying that it is important that you look at this report in forms of a report and recommendation is that then you will be in a position even before you table the report to write to the executive committee member and any other to give an explanation as to how we will absorb 3 billion in the remaining 6 months if we have been able to absorb only 290 billion in the first 6 months. You're getting me? Then when you inquire, you report and say upon inquiry, this was the response, and then the recommendations are this. So that then the county executive and the county assembly must factor and put in place strategies on absorption. Then in the subsequent quarter, which is 30th or thereabout end of March, then you will check whether the recommendations that you made have been complied or the efforts has been made. And perhaps you may ask even the head of the county treasury and the clerk of the county assembly to indicatively, if absorption is 8%, what would be the absorption by 30 or end of March? Will they be at 10%, 20, 40? So based on that commitment and projection, you will check on what the controller budget will submit that time, then you will have a report. So I would direct that you consider this in form of a report, because this report is not by the controller budget for our information. It is for our interrogation, because we should be now at 50-50. I am happy the assembly is at 55, recurrent. So meaning by May, or depending on the speed, mid-April, will be at 100. Then you put on a free gear. Member for Imali seems to know that. So also you make recommendation that the assembly should slow down on recurrent. So consider, and let us see some questions around this, and then recommendations. So then you monitor the recommendations and compliance in the subsequent quarter. Fair enough? Honorable, who's it? Is it Honorable Mudege? There was a request. Is member for?
Yes. Yes, Mr. Speaker, but you have made a ruling. I wanted to.
No, proceed.
Yeah, on that one for counter assembly. I think we are just lightly. 54 is not bad, so we can continue with that trend. For the executive, we can't blame them, because we know from the national government, we know what is happening. Yesterday I was making a comment on the plan of the national government not to support the devolution system. There is that way they lease a little under at May, they lease everything. So there is that problem. And it has been occurring as audit query in each financial year. Thank you.
Chairperson of Devolution and Chairperson Finance, I do not know whether this figure as started as December, is it factoring monies that have been released for the first 6 months, or it is against which disbursement? The reporting could be on 30th of December, but maybe the last December was October. Clerk? No, we have not received the disbursements for December. We received. So is that reported? If we receive disbursement for December, have we made the requisitions? And have they reflected? Yeah. Is it part of this?
The expenditure is not reflected. Has not been reflected.
So this absorption is at when?
The absorption is as at the money that had been received by December.
Yes, but it is possible that at end of December, member from Between, listen. It is possible as at end of December we had received money for July, August, and September for 3 months.
That's the position.
That's a position. For 3 months. So this report, strictly speaking, it is an expenditure by December, but an expenditure for disbursement. Remember, what the controller budget does is that they take the 11.1 billion and you divide by 12. It will give you approximately 670 million. So every month they will give you an equivalent ratio of 670 million or thereabout. Meaning by December you ought to have received 670 times 6 months. So it means that this disbursement is less than 6 months. It's for 3 months. It's for 4 months. Then you need to, Chairperson of the committee, you need to factor in this information is misleading. Because the way it is presented looks like it's the disbursement that has been meant up to 30th of December and may be perceived to look like resources for July to December have been received and has been spent. So that aspect must come out that in ratio, then this is an expenditure of how many months? 3 months disbursement or 4 months disbursement. This must be corrected. Member from Lale Mali?
Thank you. Actually, Honorable Speaker, my concern was when the disbursement is for what period and the reporting. There was a bit of confusion. That's what I wanted to clarify. But also I wanted to congratulate the Assembly for spending over 55%, even before the first, for 4 months. It means they are very serious with their wait.
So it means for 6 months is how much? 60.
So yeah. I can understand the Mali municipality spent over 60%. Of course, there was the report of the El Nino rains, which I'm not sure whether it happened, but the spending was done. But I only wanted to congratulate the assembly. They are doing well. And the office of the CS, and the governor, I had the spending is well. Let's now, let's oversight do what is necessary. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
A Mali municipality, an allocation of 26 million. Within the first 4 months, they spent 24 million. Wow. And there is a balance of 2 million as at, is it October? Then at October, there an expenditure, an absorption of 92%. Makwene fruit at 68, expenditure of 60, a balance of 8, absorption of 87%. But the Department of Agriculture is at 2%, gender 1%. Now, those are the lowest. The top is Emali Municipality and Makwene fruit. The least absorption is agriculture and committee on gender. Take note of that. Now, the top highest and lowest receivers of revenue is the CS as a 66, Assembly 55.
Assembly is that.
Huh?
Assembly is that.
Yes. So that is it. We need again, this paper doesn't show department per department. So that then the chairperson committee on education should be able to interrogate the expenditure on education and the percentage and absorption. But we also get that. Then when the report is late, then the committees will refer this to committees so that they can check with the executive as to what is the rate of expenditure. Others, remember, for Mali Lab, we want to know how come we have spent 90% of our allocation and we do not see any expenditure. There must be a justification and oversight on it. Go ahead.
Honorable Speaker, at times, we every day is a learning day. The chair is now informed that there lacks some information. And of course, we get these reports that we can share amongst ourselves for discussion and to see what extent are we doing or are we serving our people. So Emali spending 24 million, which is amounting to 60-something%. It means the allocation was very minimal.
No, it's 92%.
92%. If 24 million is 92%, it means the allocation was less than 30 million in terms of development. So that was my, and I wonder whether that was only the allocation for the El Nino funds, because what was utilized then was the money for emergencies to tackle drainages, specifically in Emali town. Actually, of course, when you talk about Emali Sultan municipality, ideally it's about Emali. It's also good for Honorable Ben to note, because if you question what was spent in between, it is zero. And so that balancing, but the reporting is giving her a lot of information. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Member, development for Emali is at 92. And then the recurrent expenditure for Emali municipality is 28 million. They have received 3 million, that is recurrent. There is a balance of 24 million on recurrent. On development, you are doing very well. Absorption is 92 million. The rest of the department should copy the municipality.
Mr. Speaker, what I'm saying during budgeting, and I want to understand the members for those words representing that the newest municipality must be proactive to ensure there is balance in the budgeting, because it seems water municipality is consuming a lot of it. If we have only 24 million, which is amounting to 92% in terms of development. So I'm saying we are getting information, and now it is the right time to learn, especially when we are in the budgeting cycle, when we are almost towards the approval of the estimates. Thank you.
Chairperson, take note of that. How many days do you require to give us a report?
Within the next 7 days, we can file a report.
What is the next
comprehensive report.
What is the next week?
Thank you.
Fair enough. Next order. Chairperson Gender, you are to give a notice of motion. I'm afraid I've looked at your report and it is rushed. There are no recommendations. The recommendation is a composition. I think the Chani girls can do better recommendations than what you have done. What you stated yesterday is nowhere in the recommendation. It's not reflecting, and therefore, instead of rushing this matter, it is fair when you please take time, polish that thing, consult the office of the clerk, and firm up every finding, observation, with a recommendation, and use the right language. Then you do so on Monday at 2:30.
I hear you, Honorable Speaker. We shall seek for assistance and we shall do all the corrections in this document. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Next order.
Order number 8, motion, the half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Delegated County Legislation for the period between July and December 2023.
Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move the following motion that this Assembly adopt the half-year progress report of the Committee on Delegated County Legislation for the period between July and December 2023 laid on the table of the Assembly on 20th February 2024. Mr. Speaker, sir, the half-year progress report for the period July to December 2023 was prepared as per the provisional standing orders 203 of the Makueni County Assembly standing orders. The report covers the business undertaken by the committee, achievements, challenges faced, and the recommendations. It is based on this provision that the committee submits its progress report for the period July to December 2023. During the period under review, the committee held a total of 16 meetings and then deliberated on various items of agenda as shall be seen in the report, including 1. Consideration of the half-year progress report of the committee as from January to June 2023. 2. Consideration of the annual report of the Office of the County Attorney for the financial year 2022-2023. 3. Benchmarking visit with the Senate Legal and Constitutional Affairs Committee. Mr. Speaker, the following were observations by the committee during the period under review. 1. The committee observed that there was a need for each committee of the Assembly to have their own budgets for effective facilitation in undertaking their respective mandate. Achievements, Mr. Speaker, during the period under review, the committee achieved the following. 1. Considered and tabled its half-year progress report for the period January to June 2023. And 2. Considered and presented a report on the consideration of the annual report of the Office of the County Attorney for the financial year 2022-2023. Mr. Speaker, sir, the committee anticipates to consider the following business from January to June 2023. Committee training, committee benchmarking to Senate, National Assembly, and Judicial plan on best practices. 3. To consider the legislation referred to it by the Assembly, that is the regulation bills. 4. Visit the county courts to formalize and identify the cases mostly filed. 5. To monitor implementation of statutory instruments. 6. All other activities referred to the committee from time to time. And 7. Hosting stakeholders, counterparts, committee, and government agencies. We had some challenges, Mr. Speaker, and during the period under review, the committee faced the following challenges: lack of facilitation. Legislation matters are technical in nature and they require a very specialized knowledge as well as best practices in the same. The committee could not be able to undertake capacity building to enhance execution of the functions for the committee. Recommendations. Mr. Speaker, sir, the committee recommends that the Assembly do consider and allocate a budget to each committee of the Assembly in a subsequent financial year, budget for effective facilitation in carrying out their mandated roles. 2, this Assembly adopts this report of the count of the Committee on Delegated Count Legislation for the period July to December 2023. I take this opportunity to thank all members of the Committee on Delegated Count Legislation for their input and their invaluable contribution during the period under review. The committee also takes this opportunity to thank the offices of the Speaker and the Clerk, the Count Assembly for the technical support accorded to it. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is my pleasant duty on behalf of the Committee on Delegated Legislation to present to this Assembly the Committee's progress report for the period July to December 2023 for adoption. Mr. Speaker, I now call upon Honorable Esther to second.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that this Assembly adopt the report of the propose the question that the Senate adopts the annual progress report of the Committee on Delegated Count Legislation for the period between July and December 2023, laid on the table of the Assembly on 20th of February 2024. Floor is open. Mover.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank members for supporting the motion. I kindly request them to adopt the motion. Thank you.
Honorable members, I put the question that the Assembly adopt the annual progress report of the Committee on Delegated Count Legislation for the period between July and December 2023, laid on the table of the Assembly on 20th of February 2024. Will as many as of our opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order. What is the point of order?
Honorable Speaker, is it in order for this House to continue transacting business without a quorum?
Clerk? That's all? Such are the terms? What are the ratios? Wiper? Honorable Mudike, while you are away, were you present when we defined the ratios? Were you in when we defined the ratio for everybody? Yes. So now, how do we help you? So as a concerned member of this assembly, and a member of Wiper Party, now you should help us. A member for Kitise was seated next to you. You allowed him to go. One member. Honorable Gavai was here. Honorable member for Kitise was present. I mean, honorable members. At times, you have to be serious. Why come to chamber and leave and cause a quorum each? We should have adjourned earlier. The best is that you should not have come at all, so that we don't sit. Whip. See whether you can salvage the situation. Call me the whip. Well done. You have managed to keep us waiting until when you come. Member from Muka, we have noticed when you're absent, we can't proceed. You are that powerful. Sergeant at Arms, you have quorum? Do you have the quorum? We have. Oh, yes. The master of quorum each is back. May we proceed, Sergeant at Arms, all the bell. Next order.
Order number 9, motion the half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Powers and Privileges for the period between July and December 2023.
Chairperson. Chairperson, Committee on Powers and Privileges.
Mr. Speaker, I don't think we have a second of that motion.
Of what?
I can take that responsibility, but I am afraid we don't have a second.
I'll give you some time to look for him.
Okay. Standing orders, yeah.
Get your second. Yes, look for him. Next order. We'll come back to it.
Order number 10, motion the half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Finance and Socio-Economic Planning for the period between July and December 2023.
Chairperson. Committee on Finance.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to move the following motion, that this Assembly adopts the half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Finance and Socio-Economic Planning for the period between July and December 2023, laid on the table of the Assembly on 20th February 2024. Mr. Speaker, sir, I wish not to take members on the background of the, because they know the standing order number 203 provide that unless a more regular interval is prescribed and any written law, all these standing orders, each select committee shall submit a yearly progress report to the County Assembly within 2 months after the end of the 6-month period. So, Mr. Speaker, I now wish to take the members to the main activities undertaken during the first half of the year 2023, that is July to December 2023. Committee sittings. The committee held 59 meetings between July and December, during which it deliberated on a number of issues which were of concern to the committee and the County Assembly. A majority of the meetings were held in the County Assembly, whereas a few were held outside the County Assembly, wherever the need to do so arose. Reports handled. The committee considered the following 24 reports and tabled its reports in the County Assembly, which reports were adopted by the County Assembly on diverse dates as indicated below. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, with permission, I wish to, because the report has been shared, we have report number 1 to report number 24. And for example, we can look at the report number 1, the Makueni County Assembly quarter reports and financial statement as of 31st March 2023. It was tabled on 31st July 2023 and adopted on 29 August 2023. So members, you can also look at the report number 2, 3, 4, up to report number 24, which is the Makueni County Revenue Fund, that's CRF quarter report and financial statement for the period ended 30th December 2023. It has not been yet tabled, but the committee has looked at it. Other additional business which the committee did, the committee considered the following. 1, the Makueni County 2023-2024 supplemental budget. The committee report, the consideration of the above reports were forwarded to the Budget and Appropriation Committee as required by the standing orders. In the consideration of the report, the committee continues to engage the executive committee member through correspondences and invited it to each sitting to get clarification on contentious issues and draw concurrence before reporting to the House. Statements handled. The committee issued 1 general statement of the Makueni County financial year 2023-2024 as staggered release status as of 30 September 2023, which was duly considered in the Assembly. Petitions handled. We never handled any petition. Bills handled. The committee handled 1 bill, the Makueni County Finance Bill 2023. The Makueni County Finance Bill 2023, that is the Makueni County Assembly Bill number 5 of 2023, was read the first time on 8th August 2023 and consequently committed to the Finance and Socio-Economic Committee in accordance with the provision of Standing Order number 145. The committee guided in the consideration of the bill through the various stages up to its passage, which was done on 27 September 2023 and was consequently signed into law by the governor. Training and thematic workshops and conference held, none was done. Visit meant none. Achievement. The committee guided the Assembly in the successful enactment of the Finance Act 2023, which was greatly aided by the county government in the mobilization of its own source revenue toward the funding of the Makueni County government for the financial year 2023-2024 budget. We have some anticipated activities and work plan for the committee. The committee anticipates to review various documents and present them in the County Assembly for approval. These include the quarterly financial statement and report of the various county government entities for the 3rd and 4th quarter of the financial year 2023-2024, report of expenditure of the emergency fund, consideration of the Makueni County Government Debt Management Strategy Paper, that is 2024, 2025, and 2025 to 2027, consideration of the Makueni County Fiscal Strategy Paper 2024, consideration of the Makueni County Budget Estimate for the financial year 2024-2025, and any other documents, legislations, reports, or statements which may be referred to the committee. With some challenges encountered, that is lack of facilitation to the committee to sit outside the scheduled sitting time, greatly hampered the time consideration of reports and documents referred to it, considering that the committee regularly receives expenditure reports and documents from the county treasury, control budgets, among others. Most of these reports and documents are voluminous and cannot be considered in one sitting. Recommendation: 1, occasional facilitation to the committee to sit outside the committee and plenary sittings schedules could be instrumental in clearing work backlog in the committee. As such, retreats would accord the committee ample time to consider a large number of reports over a few days sitting. 2, the committee budgets submitted to the liaison committee should be approved by the liaison committee in order to facilitate the committee in carrying out the planned activities, including oversight activities, trainings and benchmarkings and working retreats. which greatly aid the committee in clearing the various items of business committed to the committee. Mr. Speaker, sir, I also wish to take this opportunity to thank the members of the committee for their valued contribution and inputs during the entire reporting period, which saw the committee achieve all the accomplishments reported herein. On behalf of the committee, I also wish to thank the Office of the Speaker and the Clerk of the County Assembly for the technical and the logistical support accorded to the committee during the reporting period of the year, which enabled the committee achieve all the reported herein also. So members, on behalf of the members of the Finance and Socioeconomic Planning Committee, it's in my pleasant duty to present to this County Assembly the committee half-yearly progress report for the period July to December 2023 for consideration and adoption. Mr. Speaker, sir, I now wish to call Honorable Cosmas Kaleli to second the motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I wish also to raise, as I second the report, to highlight several issues, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, it is quite evident that we were able to deal with 24 reports out of the 27 and other extra jobs as a committee. Honorable Speaker, just as I take back members to the committee's report on delegated, where we saw only 3 activities, the recommendation was that we need facilitation, committee facilitations. 3 items requires facilitation. What level of facilitation do you think a committee that has over 30 activities? So I wanted to extend that observation and recommendation from that committee that depending on the workload, the facilitation should depend on the workload, Honorable Speaker. And truly we face a lot of challenges because of course time, one, which is a very important resource in management, because with only 2 sitting in a week to consider such reports, and at times one report can take even 3 hours. So you can see how much those members is to volunteer their other business time to ensure that at least the work of this count is done. Because of course, like the finance bill, that voluminous document, a lot, Honorable Speaker. So the time challenge was a serious challenge, which then tells us how much time we require. And of course, that cannot be within the Assembly Presidents. And for consideration of that. And honestly, the time comes with resources, Honorable Speaker. And the members, actually, I must get back to the members because they are the persons who budget, who approve the appropriation bill to act. So you should also consider and be considerate when we budget that requires the committee so that at least it can do much more than what was they were able to do. The Speaker, having said that, I second the motion. Thank you.
Honorable members, I propose a question that is Assembly adopt the half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Finance and Socio-Economic Planning. The period between July and December year 2023 laid on the table of Assembly on 20th of February year 2024. The floor is open. Mover of the motion. Before the mover of the motion, member for Buka.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I stand to support the report, the half-yearly progress report, Committee of Finance and Socio-Economic Planning. And Honorable Speaker, I do agree with the seconder that probably the committee has a number of reports that has considered I can see 24 reports that have been tabled before the Assembly over that said period, and probably just one bill. But Honorable Speaker, with all these 24 reports, it's my sincere feeling that we need to develop a way that all the recommendations that are made in these reports could be followed up. I don't know whether it is from the same committee but we need to develop at least some implementation matrix, because when you look at all these reports, Honorable Speaker, look at the report on the own source revenue collection, all these other quarterly reports, you realize the recommendations are always the same, year in, year out. Year in, year out, the recommendations are almost the same. So we need to look for a way of ensuring that each recommendation in this report is followed up, is implemented. Then we could be able to have a timeline, at least to see that within this period, this has been implemented, such that every other time we don't report that in the own source revenue, we are going to implement we are going to implement on source revenue or this and this, and in the next financial year, in the next half yearly progress report, we report the same things. And therefore, it's my feeling that, and not just specifically to the Committee of Finance, but at least we need to have an implementation matrix whereby with a timeline, all these reports could be followed up after some time and see how much they have been implemented. Otherwise, we will look at the number of reports, as the second is saying, and they probably will ask for some resources to look at those reports, while they are employed to look at the reports in the Assembly. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also wish to concur with Honorable Mwema that there must be a follow-up on the recommendation the committee makes, and I mean not only finance or economic planning, another committee, but I wish also to inform the Honorable Member, that is in the spirit, because that came today in the morning when we had the Assembly Business Committee sitting. We need to look at how these recommendations are being followed. So, Honorable Members, it's my appeal that you support this half-yearly progress report for the Committee on Finance for it to be adopted. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, I put the question that is assembled of the half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Finance and Socio-Economic Planning for the period between July and December 2023, laid on the table of the Assembly on 20th of February 2024. Will as many as of our opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of our good opinion say nay? Ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 11, motion the half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Agriculture, Irrigation, Livestock, Fisheries and Cooperative Development for the period between July and December 2023.
Mover of the motion.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to move the following motion that the Assembly adopts a report, the half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Agriculture, Irrigation, Livestock, Fisheries and Corporate Development for the period between July and December 2023, laid on the table of the Assembly on 27 February 2024. Honorable Speaker, this progress report covers a period between July to December 2023 for the County Assembly Committee on Agriculture, Irrigation, Livestock, Fisheries and Corporate Development, and is an update of the details on issues dealt with by the committee. The report covers all the matters considered by the committee for the said period, including reports, statements, bills, regulations, petitions, and other issues raised within the committee pertaining its mandate. Mr. Speaker, sir, during the period under review, the committee held 31 sittings in the primary objective of executing the committee's mandate in accordance with the provisions of Standing Order number 217.5, second schedule, sectoral committees, and fourth schedule of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. It further considered and adopted 7 reports, namely the half-yearly report of the Committee on Agriculture, Irrigation, Livestock, Fisheries, and Corporate Development for the period between January and June 2023. 2, the report on the consideration of the financial year 2023-2024 Makueni County Supplementary Budget 1 for the Department of Agriculture, Irrigation, Livestock, Fisheries and Corporate Development. 3, report on the consideration of the Makueni County financial year 2024 to 2025 annual development plan under the Department of Agriculture, Irrigation, Livestock, Fisheries and Cooperative Development. 4, report on the oversight on agricultural projects implemented by the National Agricultural and Rural Inclusive Growth Projects, that is NARIG, in partnership with the County Government of Makueni across the county, conducted by the County Assembly on the 2nd and 3rd March 2023. 5, report on the consideration of implementation status of the legislations passed by the County Assembly under the Department of Agriculture, Irrigation, Livestock, Fisheries and Cooperative Development. 6, report on the consolidation of the financial year 2023-24 departmental work plan for the Department of Agriculture, Irrigation, Livestock, Fisheries and Cooperative Development. And 6, the report of the status of implementation of the County Assembly resolutions. Mr. Speaker, sir, during the period under review, the committee responded to the following statements to satisfaction. The statement regarding the county government's preparedness towards the coming mango season in the county. Statement regarding the shortage of subsidized fertilizer in the county. Mr. Speaker, the committee anticipates to undertake the following pending work during the first half of the 3rd session. 1, consideration of the statement regarding the lack of an agroecology policy in the county. Consideration of the statement on non-implementation of agricultural programs in Kitundu Ward. Consideration of the statement on implementation of Kanini Kasio irrigation project in Kalawa Ward. Consideration of Makueni County Agricultural Training Center Bill 2023 at Kwakathoka. Consultation meetings with the department on a legislative proposal on food and feed safety. Follow-up on the implementation of the projects and programs under the department. Consideration of the financial year 2024-25 Makueni County budget estimates for the department. Sensitization meeting to the Agricultural Committee on National Agricultural Value Chain Development Project by the department. The matter is under consultation with the department and is expected to be finalized by end of February 2024. Any other matter may be committed to the committee under Standing Order number 217 during the period under review. Committee achievements. The committee considered and adopted the committee's and department's annual work plan for the period between September 2023 to June 2024, which outlined the respective roadmaps for the execution of the mandates. 2, trained on the Super Champions for Change Leadership course. The course targeting the ECMs and agriculture committees in Makueni, Kitui, and Taita Taveta County Assemblies, which was sponsored by United States Agency International Development, USAID, and Research Triangle International, RTI, held on September 2023 at Makindu Town. The committee was awarded certificates upon completion of the training, and Honorable Speaker, I did notice that one of the certificate that I realized I got that time was on my table. Very nice, very beautiful. 3, participated in the grand launch of the Makueni County Animal Feed Strategy 2023-2033 at Kusiombungu Hotel in Watertown, held on 29th November 2023. Tabled 7 reports in the Assembly, which were subsequently adopted. The recommendations contained in the reports were forwarded to the county department responsible on matters county agriculture for action. Then conclusively endorsed 2 statements as indicated in this report, and the remaining 3 are under consideration with the ECM and other stakeholders. 6, considered the Makueni County Agricultural Training Center Bill 2023, where the committee identified legislative gaps and forwarded to the department for consideration. 7, considered all the statutory budgetary documents before it, that is financial year 2024-2025 ADP, and financial year 2023-2024 supplementary budget 1. Observations. In addition to the above achievements, the committee observed that there were frequent engagements with the department through consultative meetings, which aided in upholding the good working rapport, hence a better work output and timely responses. There were remarkable improvement on the committee's punctuality to its sittings. Challenges. The committee did not have any thematic training or capacity building facilitated by the County Assembly during the period under review, which led to the delay in handling and executing its mandates pursuant to Standing Order number 217.5. Another challenge was lack of committee's budget which affected the implementation of its work plans and mandates, especially on oversight role on some critical matters on agriculture, as directed by the County Assembly, owing that such directives have strict timelines. Honorable Speaker, we have made the following recommendations to the committee. There should be adequate and continuous consultations and cooperation between the committee and the county department dealing with matters agriculture for effective performance. The ECM submits the Makueni County Agriculture and Livestock Bill and the Makueni County Agriculture Training Bill, or report promptly to the Assembly within 1 month upon adoption of this report by the County Assembly. 3, the County Assembly administration and its leadership to factor capacity building and organize thematic training and make backings to the committee before the lapse of this financial year. The committee to fast track on timely implementation of projects in the department through program-based oversight. The County Assembly administration and its leadership to consider allocating each committee its budget. This will ease execution on site visits as directed by the County Assembly. Honorable Speaker, to conclude, the above recommendations should be adhered to by all involved stakeholders in an attempt to improve committee's output and outcome. Then, Honorable Speaker, on acknowledgement, I wish to extend special gratitude to the Office of the Speaker and the Clerk of the County Assembly for the technical support offered and thank members who diligently discharged the duties safeguarded by the law. I take this opportunity to present the half-yearly progress report for the Committee on Agriculture, Livestock, Irrigation, Fisheries and Corporate Development for the period between July and December 2023 to the County Assembly for adoption. Honorable Speaker, with that, I wish to call upon the member for Kalawa, who is a member of this committee, to second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I stand to second the motion and also take this opportunity to recognize the efforts and the commitment of the members in the Committee of Agriculture, because it is out of their commitment that they have tackled all those activities, and also in synergy, working together with the Department of Agriculture to ensure that the programs and activities of the account are running well. Then number 2, Mr. Speaker, it's also good that I recognize that this is a committee that actually steers the economic potential and the forces of economic change in the county. And for this count now to realize all that potential in terms of economic basis and also the food security, it is actually out of the effort of the members to do their work. And I recognize what the members have done. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I stand to support and also applaud the efforts of the members. Thank you.
Honorable members, I propose a question that Assembly adopt the half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Agriculture, Irrigation, Livestock, Fishery, Corporate Development for the period between July and December 2023, laid on the table Assembly on 27th of February 2023. Floor is open. Member for Mkawa.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And once again, I want to support the report that is before us. But generally, Honorable Speaker, on the same note and as raised in the previous motion, the Speaker, when you look at, as has been read by the Chair, the Standing Order number 217, Part 5, which stipulates the mandate of all sectoral committees. Speaker, when you look at it carefully, apart from number 1, then number 4 and number 6 and 7, mostly it's a general cross-cutting issue amongst the committees. That number 2 that says that study the programs and policy objectives of the departments, and also and the effectiveness of its implementation. So, Speaker, when you realize the numbers 2 to almost 5, in almost all committees, we are lacking in the reporting of the same, Mr. Speaker. For example, the one that I have read, studying the policy objectives of the department and the effectiveness, Honorable Speaker. You realize right from the budgeting documents that we normally have, that is the county the integrated development plan, the ADP, up to the budget level and implementation, Honorable Speaker, there are those objectives that are set by the department. But in our half-yearly reporting, we rarely, as committees, naturally report on their progress and their direction. And for example, in this department of agriculture, like in Muka ward where I represent, we began almost 4 years ago a program to do with avocado farming. But Honorable Speaker, it's my thinking that once we are starting with a certain program, or a certain program has been aligned in the budgeting documents or policies that every department has, at least we have to have a progressive document that outlines if it is an irrigation scheme in Kitiza Kithuki ward, like the one that is about to be established in this department. We need to know this irrigation scheme is about to factor growing of rice, an example. This growing of rice, we are going to empower a target of a certain number of farmers. After that, this is how we are going to look for market for these farmers, and this the end result of such a program and such a policy that we are putting in place. If I refer back to the issue I've raised about the avocado farming in Muka, you realize we did establish avocado nursery in Muka. But thereafter, the department left. No one cares about what is happening. No one cares to visit the farmers and evaluate what they are doing in the farms, or the avocados that they are producing, or the seedlings that they are being given, how they are doing on, how they are faring on. And then in the subsequent budgeting, we need to factor, do we need some care for this avocado? Do we need some, do we call them pesticide or something? What kind of care do we need to take for this avocado, such that at the end of the day, the department can program itself to say, within 4 or 5 years, the people of Moka could be able to produce 20 tons of avocado, and this is how we are going to market this avocado. That is one way of reporting and looking at our reporting systems at the county assembly. When you look at number 4 also, study, assess, and analyze the relative success of the departments as measured by the results. I think, Mr. Speaker, in expansion of our reporting system, we need to adopt a way of reporting the percentage of success as envisioned in the standing order, that's number 275. This we need to realize from the objectives that this department set at this time. They have been able to achieve at the end of this reporting period at least 75% of this financial year, or 20% at least analyze and measure its success as provided for in that. The Speaker, the other issue, and I had raised, when you look at not the challenges, the challenges, Mr. Speaker, that have been raised by this committee. You realize that the same statements are cutting across almost in every committee. That, in fact, including the one that has just passed the previous motion, the Committee of Finance, that there was no training, and 2, there's not enough budget. Then, do we keep on recurring the same challenges year in, year out, and for all committees? If there is a problem with budgeting at the county assembly level, then in the next budgeting cycle, we need to sit down as an assembly and evaluate what is the challenge, such that in the next financial year or in the next reporting time, we don't report the same challenge or financing of committees. We need to evaluate when we are making that budget. At least we will be able to know and evaluate that and sort that matter once and for all, so that it's not reported in every other committee. When you look at the training, of course, I know as a member of this assembly, the assembly has facilitated us to different trainings. Some have been gone to Mombasa. We have been facilitated. I don't know whether once we are facilitated as a whole assembly, Mr. Speaker, if we are trained on the committee mandates as a whole assembly, then should it reflect back to each and every committee? Because I believe that we are trained, once we are trained on committee business as a whole assembly, then we are all trained. We are supposed to take that training serious, but not expect that each committee, again, to be, if not so, and Mr. Speaker, in the next, before we
go to the next reporting period, then we need to agree, instead of going for the whole house for training of committees, then we need each committee to be trained alone, so that we don't keep on reporting the same issues every other reporting period. The Speaker, the last issue that I wanted to raise was it has disappeared, but I'll get it. But otherwise, I support with those issues. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Move on the motion.
For the sentiments that Member for Moka has spoken into this report. I think the first issue that is raising about the committee not being, or committees not being able to report of the progress in the departments can be cured by cascading the periodic reports from the Department of Finance and Socioeconomic Planning to the committees. Many times, and always actually, the Department of Finance would bring reports to this House, probably like the report that passed yesterday about receiver of revenue, a report on consumption of budgets. I think that should be taken to cascaded to the departments, such that the Committee of Agriculture, for instance, we get to the Committee on Agriculture takes up a matter and sees that the ultimate consumption was 0.06. How much did the Committee on Agriculture consume? The overall was 10. How much did the Committee on Health consume? And how much were they supposed to consume? With such a line of inquiry, it will answer into questions of this was supposed to be done, it was not done. And so we will be able to ask, why was it not done? So I think that could be a chore. And on the issue that he has mentioned about committees continuously picking up a challenge of training and such, I think I would say a common problem is no man's problem. So if every other committee is talking of training and the other one is talking of training, then that training is a problem of all of us. And so subsequently, it is not a problem as such. And as the member said, indeed, there are times when we take it for training and it cross-cuts. So unless a committee wants specialized training on issues of agriculture, if that committee is for agriculture, issues of health, if that committee is on health, which may not be the case because the mandate cross-cuts regardless of the committee, then we can say that may not be a challenge per se. It won't be a challenge as such. And if it is a challenge, it can be overcome. It can be overcome collectively as a house. Nevertheless, training is a good thing. It should be continuous. We should have these trainings every other time. Honorable Speaker, I would ask the members to support this motion, and we see that it's put to rest. Thank you.
Honorable members, I now put the question that the Assembly adopt the half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Agriculture, Livestock, Fisheries, Cooperative Development, the period between July and December year 2023, laid on the table of the Assembly on 27th of February year 2024. Will as many of the opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes of it. Honorable members, the report of the committee, the half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Delegated Legislation, Powers and Privileges. Did you get a second? Okay. Finance, Socioeconomic and Agriculture, the recommendations to be referred to liaison committee. the liaison committee to take note of the issues that have been raised by each and every committee, and indeed reflect what you said in the committee. So that what chair you have said here, because I remember in your motion you have indicated that there is need to apportion a budget for the committee to carry out committee activities and oversight. So carry that to liaison. Now the report of liaison cannot be nothing other than copy-paste of recommendations of members. Because liaison will say, we said, but then all the issues emanating from the committee have to be picked. But then I would want to see whether, Honorable Kimongo, you will be the seconder of the motion of the liaison. Yes. Now, you have indicated that there is need for training. I want the same breath to be factored in liaison programs. So that then you agree, are you training committee on agriculture, on how to manage cooperatives, on how do you deal with cooperative law, how do you train committee on water, on perhaps management of water companies, roads, on carer, whatever relationship, or it is training on inquiry, investigations, and carrying out oversight. That is it. Otherwise, then it means between the chairs and the committee clerks, one is copying from a previous report or copying from the other committee, so that when you hear the recommendations here, you go sit and copy. Need for training, need for ABCD. So, Chair Larson, the reports are coming to you for your reporting back in one set. What is it, Honorable Mudinga? Why are you smiling? Chairperson, powers and privileges.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move the following motion, that this Assembly adopts the half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Powers and Privileges for the period between July and December 2023, laid on the table.
Honorable Mansu, that order has not been read. So direct the clerk to read the next order.
Order number 9, motion, the half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Powers and Privileges for the period between July and December 2023.
Chairperson, powers and privileges.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to move the following motion, that this Assembly adopts the half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Powers and Privileges for the period between July and December 2023, laid on the table of this Assembly on 20th February 2024. And Mr. Speaker, I would like to move straight to the executive summary. Mr. Speaker, the Makueni County Assembly Standing Order 203 states that unless a more regular interval is prescribed under any written law, all these standing orders, each select committee shall submit half-yearly progress report to the County Assembly within 2 months after the end of the 6th month period. The Powers and Privileges Committee held 12 sittings between January and June 2023. During the committee sittings, the execution of the committee's mandates has been deliberative, decisive, and any debates have been healthy. However, the committee has been in dire need of training to execute its mandate effectively. Since the committee has never been trained, this is basically a necessity in the legislative mandate. Challenges: the committee has lacked training and benchmarking facilitation to enable it to effectively discharge its mandate. Mr. Speaker, on observations, The committee made the following observations. The committee members are committed towards the execution of the committee's business. The committee members' commitment towards the execution of the committee's business has been impressive. 2, members of the County Assembly had strict adherence to the County Assembly's Powers and Privileges Act 2017 and the Makueni County Assembly Standing Orders on matters regarding conduct of members. The committee has lacked training and benchmarking facilitation to enable it effectively discharge its mandates. Recommendations. Mr. Speaker, sir, the committee recommends the following. Members of the committee should continue committing themselves towards the execution of committee's business. 2, members of the County Assembly to continue adhering to the provisions of the County Assembly's Powers and Privileges Act 2017 and the County Assembly's and the Makueni County Assembly Standing Orders on matters regarding conduct of members. And 3, the committee has lacked training on benchmarking facilitation to enable it effectively discharge its mandate. Acknowledgement. Mr. Speaker, sir, the committee thanks the Office of the Speaker and the Office of the Clerk to the County Assembly for the technical and logistical support accorded to it in executing its mandate. I also wish to thank the members of the committee for their cooperation, contributions, and the efforts they have put in the committee's sittings. Mr. Speaker, sir, this is therefore my pleasant duty and privilege on behalf of the members of the Powers and Privilege Committee to present this committee for consideration and adoption by the Assembly. I now call upon Honorable Sarah Mbilo to second the motion.
Honorable members, I propose a question that the Assembly adopts the report, the half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Powers and Privileges for the period between July and December 2023, laid on the table of Assembly on 20th of February 2024. The floor is open. Member for Suleiman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I actually support that motion, Mr. Speaker. Powers and privileges, Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
Mover of the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and as I urge the members to support the motion, it has been evident that all the committees are talking of trainings, benchmarkings, and so forth. So it is my plea to honorable members and any concerned body to facilitate those trainings. And Mr. Speaker, because as it is evident, you are the chairperson of this committee, and you as the father of this house, you should actually factor this committee to at least have some trainings and benchmarkings. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I urge the members to support.
Honorable members, I put the question that this Assembly adopt the half-yearly progress report of the Committee on Powers and Privileges for the period between July and December year 2023, laid on the table of the Assembly on 20th of February 2024. As many as of the opinion say aye. As many as of a contrary opinion say nay. So the recommendations of the Powers and Privileges Committee to be referred to the Liaison Committee for the consideration on the report that will be prepared by the committee. The half-yearly progress report of the liaison committee is a conglomeration of the recommendation of half-yearly progress report of all committees. Next order, Chairperson Committee on ICT Education Internship and next order.
Order number 12, motion. The report of the Committee on ICT Education and Internship on oversight on ECDE centers.
Chairperson.
What is motion? Mr. Speaker, sir, pursuant to stand in order 6, Cap 1, I beg to withdraw the notice of the following motion, which was given on 4th December 2023. That is, this Assembly adopts the report of Committee on ICT, Education and Internship on the oversight of ECD centers laid on this table of Assembly in 4th December 2023. Mr. Speaker, sir, by this we withdraw the report of Committee on ICT, Education and Internship on oversight of ECD centers laid on this table of Assembly of 4th December 2023 stands withdrawn. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Roy, a second. Honorable Esther, you have begged to withdraw, and you have gone ahead to say that by this withdraw the report of the Committee on ICT, Internship of the County Technical Institute, laid on the table on this particular date stands withdrawn. So you are finished. We go home. You have requested and you have ruled. Is that you're supposed to limit yourself to the first paragraph. You limit yourself to the first paragraph. Then the speaker will think about it. We will think about whether to allow or not. And you have to persuade me. Convince, plead. You don't just come and say withdraw. No, I am not seated here for granted. Go ahead.
Withdraw of notice of motion. Mr. Speaker, sir, pursuant to standing order 64, Cap 1, I beg to withdraw the notice of the following motion which was given on 4th December 2023. That this Assembly adopts the report of Committee on ICT, Education and Internship on oversight on ECD centers laid on the table of Assembly on 4th December 2023. Mr. Speaker, sir, I request you to help me.
You should be helped. Honorable members, by withdraw the report of the Committee on ICT, Education, Internship and Oversight on ECD centers, which was laid on the table of Assembly on 4th of December 2023, stands withdrawn. Next order.
Order number 13, motion. The report of the Committee on ICT, Education and Internship on oversight on county technical training institutes.
Mover of the motion.
Draw of a motion. Mr. Speaker, sir, pursuant to Standing Order 64, Cap 1, I beg to withdraw the notice of the following motion, which was given on 4th December 2023. That this Assembly adopts the report of Committee of ICT Education and Internship on the oversight on the County Technical Training Institutes laid on table of Assembly on 4th December 2023. Mr. Speaker, sir, I ask for your consideration.
Honorable members have noted the application of the Committee on ICT Education on CCTIs, and that the committee wishes to have to amend their recommendations, not limited to this report, including the ICDs, and therefore, by this withdraw the report of the Committee on ICT Education Internship on oversight of CCTIs, which was laid on the table of the Assembly on 4th of December, stands withdrawn. Your committee, you will propose as soon as possible then to consider the changes that you wish to and lay a report here. Honorable members, time now being 16:44 hours, the Assembly stands adjourned until Monday, 4th of March 2024 at 14:30 hours.